with that. But that's a different subject. Today I want to take a closer look at the fantastic SSG E170 Evolution version 2. And yeah, we are here located at Cologne Airport, which is Echo Delta Delta Kilo. We are in X-Plane 10.51, and the weather and the whole environment simulation is done by xEnviro 1.06. Yeah, so without any further ado, let's have a closer look at this beautiful bird. Since we are here at Cologne Airport, Echo Delta Delta Kilo, I have a German Wings livery here on this really beautiful plane, which is only fictional because German Wings unfortunately doesn't fly the Embraer. But nonetheless, we are in a simulation, so that isn't too bad at all. And I think it really looks nice in these colors. The detail is very, very nice. Texturing as well. I never had version 1 because it was only equipped with the standard X-Plane 10 FMC, so yeah, I'm not too excited and crazy about that default stuff. Normally, I mean, one could use it with the XFMC, but yeah, nonetheless, now we have here a version with Javi Cortez. Very good UFMC, but here it's heavily customized to fit into the Embraer style cockpit. It's still a bit, you know, Boeing like in a few respects, but yeah, I can live with that. Yeah, all the pitot tubes and all the sensors are modeled very, very nice. Here's a GPU unit. We'll come to a little quirk I have found here with the GPU. This is the most recent version, which is 1.03, and this version is meant to be compatible with X-Plane 11, but I'm not too crazy about X-Plane 11 right now because it's still beta, and you know, I want to have a stable and good performing platform. I have X-Plane 11 installed, and I will switch to it sooner or later. That's no question, but not right now. So on this version here, 1.03 of the Evo series of the E170 is meant to work flawlessly with an X-Plane 11. I can say anything about that. The problem in X-Plane 10 is that the APU doesn't provide any power, so you need the GPU to be connected all the time until the engines can take over with their generators. So that's a bit of a bummer. And the other thing I found out is that the synoptics, the system pages don't work. Yeah. Maybe I'll find a way to downgrade to 1.02. Look here, the texturing is really, really nice. All labels can be read very, very good. I really like the look of that plane. No doubt about that. And here we are in the virtual cockpit, which is modeled very, very nice as well. Very nice texturing. The overhead panel looks extremely nice as well. Performance is okay. It's worse than what I normally get with the iXCG 737 or the Flight Factor 757 version 2. It's a little worse, but still flyable. Right now when I stream on top of it all, and here being located at Cologne, which is an area quite densely populated with facade and autogen, I have a frame rate of 27 right now. That gets a little worse once the displays come to life, but yeah, it's still flyable. We'll see. So here's a nice little thing which lets you set a few things pre-flight, like connecting the GPU, opening the doors, which looks very nice, and also air stairs, or stairs can be attached to the plane in order to let the people board. And the very nice thing is that the stairs here have the same labeling as the plane has, so that changes according to the livery you're using. That's a very nice thing. I like that a lot. It's worth noting that the cabin is modeled as well, not to the same standard. They are a little too sensitive here, my controls. Let's make it that way. Not to the same standard as the outside of the plane is modeled, but yeah, for those who like such things, there you go. There you have it. Alright, so all the doors can be opened. So for now, let's close the doors and let's get rid of the stairs. Now, no, I want to show you there's a second page on it. Here you can change the field of view, but normally I've set it to 0.65, and that's what's selected here as well. You can engage a tow, and you can choose if it's some sort of, pulling vehicle, pulling you into the forward direction, or if it's a normal pushback vehicle that can be steered by you using the tiller axis. It's the same as you can find in the SSG 747-8 as well. So that's for all the doors. Here you can choose to use lips instead of kilograms, and then there is an option 2 page in which you can set the payload. Here you can change the payload. Now we have a payload of 4,600 kilograms. Let's change it to around 4,000. Then you just hit payload, set payload, and then you see here the zero fuel that changes, and now the plane is loaded with payload. There are also some presets here from empty to full, and here you can change as well the fuel. You can change it manually, or you can use the value you enter into the FMC. Alright, so we don't need to do anything here anymore, so we can switch it off. Here you can also change the amount of cabin light, which looks quite nice by night or in dusk and dawn situations. So now let's activate the GPU. And with that thing providing the power, we have to turn on the batteries, set them to auto. You have an all dark philosophy here in the Embraer jets. That means as long as everything is not lit switch-wise, you are good to go. An example would be if I hit that switch, APU delete. Oh no, okay, the APU is not providing any power right now, but I can show you that once the APU is cranked. If the switch lights up, that means a system is deactivated. Okay, so let's get rid of the master caution. And you know what? Let's crank the APU. So on and start. Let's on the emergency lights, and for the moment we are good here on the overhead panel. So when I switch views here, you might recognize a bit of stuttering, which is due to the Autolot 1.3. A nice little tool I like to use right now because it improves my frame rate quite a bit. And what it does is just changes the level of detail on the fly according to the load of the GPU and the CPU. So if you are in a scenery area where there is a lot of autogen and a lot of scenery going on, the level gets changed that way that your frame rate stays within pre-selected limits. And if you change views, that may also change, because here there is no view distance necessary, and there are no autogen buildings showing up. Obviously, if you look here onto the overhead panel, so the LUT level changes here to higher values, and if you go to the outside view and you just zoom out, you can recognize here the figures change, and as I zoom in, all the buildings do reappear again. So that is a nice little tool which changes the level of detail on the fly, so that actually provides you with a quite stable and always nice frame rate. Yeah, okay. So by hitting the F8 key, you can bring up a pop-up of the make do. So right now we are on the radio page. That's where the COM and nav radios get tuned, but we want to go here to the FMC part, and okay, let's go to the index page, ident, and that's a bit, you know, like or not a bit. That's actually the Boeing part of the FMC. It would look differently in an original Embraer style FMC, but yeah, it does its job. So you know, so there's no real IRS alignment, no switches that have to be clicked, but part of the procedure when you start up the plane from cold and dark is to enter the reference airport. Then you hit the route LSK, and now the origin is already pre-populated, and we'll do our little race pattern here around Cologne Airport. So we'll go back to Cologne, and flight number will be 1123. Activate. Okay, now here in the flight plane, right now you only have the origin and the destination. Now that's a bit Airbus style. If you hit the LSK next to the... Oh no, that's not correct. Sorry, my bad. You have to go here to the nav page, and then you have to hit departure. That's how it is in the original Embraer FMC as well. So we are here on runway 23 right, and we'll take to Cologne 9 Bravo departure. No transition, and there is now execute key, but you have to hit this route data button here, so the departure is in there. You can see that here. Now nav page again, arrival, then we'll arrive on 2 ILS 23 right again via the Gulf 1 Charlie arrival and the Gulf transition, hit route data again, and now if you click on flight plan, all the waypoints are here. So we have to modify that a bit. We'll clear here. Oh no, we delete the first Cologne, which is part of the star. Sorry, of the SID. And we'll put Golco in there, and we'll close this disco, and now we should be good to go. And we are. Hit route data again, and the flight plan is done. So if you go here to FMS and you hit the map page here, you see the flight plan is in there. You have a nice VSD here as part of the map display, which shows you the vertical path of the flight plan, which is a really nice touch. So, okay, if you go to the performance page, we'll hit takeoff, and we say that we'll depart with flaps 2. Brings up the V speeds. The thrust limits will be D rate of 1. Okay, that deletes the takeoff speeds again, but no problem at all. Let's clear it out. I just bought that plane 2 days ago, so I'm not overly safe with all the procedures right now. Okay, so now where is it? Performance. Yeah, okay, that has 3 pages. So page 1 is pre-populated with all the stuff calculated by the FMC, but if you hit next, you have to put in a reserve. Let's now assume we'll we want to have 1 tons of fuel left at least. And there you enter the cruise altitude, which will be 9,000 today. Confirm in it, and now we'll have to confirm the V speeds again. Okay, so, and that is pretty much everything we have to do. So, altitude select 9,000, and let's turn on the flight director. Okay, is looking nice. You can have a more or less fully fledged VNAV profile with that plane and the implemented FMC, but today we'll manage our speed ourselves. So here you see the speed knob has an inner ring which can be changed from manual to FMS. If you turn it onto FMS, the speed and the whole throttles are managed by the FMS, but today we'll let that here be on the manual side of things. Okay, if you push the heading button, which is a nice touch, it synchronizes automatically with your current heading. Okay, so we are pretty much good to go, I would say. And here's the thing I found out with the ND display. Actually, there should be a pop-up if you hit here the map button. In that pop-up menu, you can select things that get displayed on the ND, like airports, navigate and stuff. So that doesn't work. Then there's the plan mode, which works without any problems, and here you can change the range. And there's the system page, and actually there should be a pop-up as well, which allows you to show all the synoptics, like, you know, the ECS, so the climate control and the fuel and all that stuff, but that doesn't work in the current version, which is a bit sad, but I think they'll bring a patch quite soon. That's what I hope, at least. Okay, so now APU is providing power, and that's what I wanted to show you. So if you click now on that button, you see it gets illuminated, and that means yeah, I can't show that that here now because the system page isn't working, but now the APU bleed is turned off. So if you hit the button again, it's in the correct state for now. Alright, so actually the nav light should have been turned on from the start. Let's turn on the beacon light right now because we'll start the engines. So, and that's the other thing. You can clearly hear that the APU is running right now, and the APU is running here as well. You can see 100% RPM and the EGT. But if I now turn off the GPU, you can see the main system's shut off. And that is although the APU is running, so that is a bug. If I turn on the GPU again, the plane comes to life again. Alright, so let's start the engines. Nice handbrake lever, looks like the handbrake or the parking brake in your car. And that is number 1 up and running. Let's start number 2. Flaps 2. And it is number 2 alive. So pitch is 2.5. Okay, let's turn on the landing lights, nose light. Let's turn on the strobe lights. And let's get rid of the GPU, and let's turn off the APU, and now you can see everything stays powered. If you want to use the flight plan pre-entered in the FMC, you have to take care that you choose FMS here as a nav source, because later on when we arrive onto the ILS, you'll choose here Warlock in order to receive the localizer information. So you have 2 nav radios, so you have VOR2 and VOR1, and you have the FMS. And FMS has to be selected right now, and then we'll choose RTO on the auto brakes. And let's change here the setting to hectopascals, and the meter says we have 1024. It's very nice that you can also actuate these knobs with the mouse wheel. So whenever you hover your mouse over a knob and you see here that arrows, you can either change values by hitting the left mouse button or just simply use the mouse wheel. And it works in both directions, which is pretty nice. Okay, so heading synchronize, speed, let's select 240, and then alright, let's get rid of the GPU, sorry. And we are good to go. Power brake off. Okay, right now the steering tiller is engaged. Let's deselect that.
V1, VR, V2.
Oh, that's quite windy here. Wow. So let's select autopilot, VO damper, nav. Let's go for vertical speed at the moment. It wanted to turn left, interesting, but now the next waypoint is active, so that's good. Let's bring the nose down a bit in order to pick up some speed. xEnviro is providing the weather, as I said before. And flaps up. If you change the vertical profile by changing the vertical speed, you can also see here the green trend vector changing according to your settings, and you can also see the pre-calculated path of the FMS. So right now we are pretty much spot on what the FMS has calculated as well. And here you can see the top of climb, and the top of climb is also showing up here at the lateral path. Once we reach 240, we'll switch to level change. Very nice. Again, if you hit the heading select button here, or rather the knob, it synchronizes the heading. Very nice. So let's go to flight level change. Isn't that just beautiful? I really love the look of xEnviro. So nice. Now the cloud shadows are working again in the most current release of xEnviro, and that just adds that bit of depth, which the initial release was lacking. Beautiful. really nice. Let's grab a screenshot. Here you can see the top of descent coming up, and let's set up the plane for the approach and the landing while we are still in cruise here. So here's the performance, and here's the approach reference page, which is also, you know, looking like what you would typically find in a Boeing airliner, but yeah, you know. So we'll approach with land rather with flaps full. And it also shows you, just like in your average 737, 757, whatever, the frequency has to be tuned, which is 111.10, and the front course is at 315. So if you now go here to the radio page, you can enter 111.10, put it in here, make it active, and now nav1 is set for the approach. And we can also set it onto the nav2. Right now it's in auto FMS, so it auto tunes the nearest VOR station. Let's just override that. 10. Alright. Good. A little later, when we approach the waypoint Rarix, we'll switch from FMS to heading, and then we'll change the navigation source from FMS to Vorlog as well, and then we'll set the front course. And right now, since we are nearing the top of descent, we have to set the altitude to 3000. There you go. Isn't that just beautiful? I really like that. Here you can see there's a very sharp turn between Gauco and Cologne, and the further advanced FMSs show the actual flight path, which has to be some kind of a rounded thing, not the chop edge here. But the two tests I did with the plane, it flew a nice curve here. So we'll see how it performs right now. And we should start the descent anytime soon as well. Scenery I'm using here is auto photo combined with HD mesh. Oh, okay, but we'll have to start the descent by ourselves because we are not on the fully fledged VNAV mode. We need to manage the speeds and the vertical profile by myself. So you can see we are nearing top of descent, 4 nautical miles to go. It's a really nice touch, I like that feature. Okay, so let's start with vertical speed. throttles come back very nicely. Speed is still set to 40. Now you can see again here the pre-calculated descent path, and here is the resulting profile with my selected vertical speed. .41 frames right now. It's performing quite nice, especially the outside model doesn't have too much of an impact on the frame rate. And xEnviro just performs very, very good as well. Much better than XPX Pro, at least on my system. Just let me have a very quick look. Okay, the stream is up and healthy. It's nice. So you can see now we are not exactly spot on the path, but I mean, it's okay. We can even ease up the rate of descent a bit. It's always worth noting that xEnviro does not only provide the clouds, but it also changed the precipitation dramatically, and it changes the sky colors on the go, on the fly, according to the present weather conditions. So that's, you know, that's truly an environmental simulation, and totally different to what most people are used to if they normally use the default weather system of X-Plane, or even use XPX Pro. So none two flights are the same, literally not, and that's absolutely great. I love that. Approaching Cologne, which is the waypoint here. Normally you can select the names, or showing the names of the waypoints and additional stuff by choosing that here from the drop-down menu, but that doesn't work, as we found out earlier. Yeah. It's a bit shaky right now in the cockpit. It's nice that you always see here the progress on the ND, like the distance to the next waypoint, the next active waypoint, the ETA, the fuel, and that you always see these figures for the final destination as well. Very nice touch. So auto brake low, and let's ease up the rate of descent even further. We also have the banana, which shows you when you will reach the pre-selected altitude, and we have to be at 3,000 feet when we reach Rarix, so we can ease up the rate of descent a little further. So these both tools here make it very easy to descend on spot, because VNAV is used not that often, especially during descents. And that makes life quite a bit easier if you manage the descent manually. I like that really a lot. It works absolutely flawlessly. Change the time of day just a bit here to show you how the sky colors change on the fly accordingly. And not only the sky colors, but also the atmospheric scattering effects change. Alright, so let's bring it to speed. Let's synchronize the heading, and let's go to heading select, and then we'll change the nav source to VLOC and hit it twice to be on localizer 1 mode, and then we'll change the course to 317. Alright, here we go. it gets even a bit bumpier. Now we are right inside these clouds. Flaps 1. You have here the speed limits for the different flap stages. If you see something in green here on the flight mode annunciator panel, it means it's selected by the pilot rather than showing information in magenta, which means that the information is calculated and provided by the FMS. 3,000 feet, QNH is set. And here's the airfield. Rather hazy, but not too crazy cloudy. So let's activate the approach mode. Any second the localizer should be captured. You can see here localizer and flight slot is armed. Localizer is coming in. And here we go. Very nice. So let's have a quick look here. Once again, performance says our speed is 118 for the approach and landing, plus 5 according to the wind, means 123 will be our final approach speed. Stage of flaps. Gear down. .36 frames per second, really nice. And flaps full. Landing lights are still on. So anytime soon we'll take over manually. Right now you can see line and flare is armed in order to perform an auto land, but we'll do a manual landing. .000 feet. And the plane is ours. And rather than having a crossbar flight director, you have a magenta vector here. And the green circle is your actual flight path. And you have to chase magenta ball with that trend vector. My physical throttles have been the toga position when I took over manually, so that was not the best thing to do, but right now we are good again and almost on profile. 26 frames per second. That's nice. Bit of a crosswind here. 12 knots coming from the left. But we can deal with that. I hope. Let's see. I've not done too many landings yet in this
50,
plane.
40, 30, 20, 10.
And let's flare. Ooh. Wow, not a good landing. Not a good landing at all, but yeah, whatever. It's been quite windy, and we are down in one piece, more or less. Nice sounds here as well in the 3D cockpit. All that rambling. Quite immersive, I like that a lot. As I do like the whole plane because it flies very smoothly, and the whole interaction with the auto flight system is very smooth as well. So I really like that. So here we are, back on the ground. Bit hard of a landing, but yes, we made it down at least. I hope you liked my little first impression / closer look video. I'll fly that plane more often, for sure. I hope the little things here, the quirks with the missing system pages and the APU not providing power, will get sorted out with a future update, and I hope that update won't take too long. And for now, I say thank you, captains. Thanks for watching. Always 3 greens, and see you guys soon. Bye bye.